Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Draconic Transformation. Yeah,
That's my best dragon at the moment.
that's pretty good.
Thanks. I thought so.
All right. What does this one do?
This is another Fizzbands goodie. I'm a big fan of this book. So this gets a 7th level transmutation spell. So we have to do a lot, but this spell does a lot. It takes a bonus action to cast. Sweet. I'm already on board. Range itself, it costs verbal, somatic, and material components, and you have to have at least a little statuette of a dragon worth 500 gold. By this point, you probably got that. Or have at least the ways to get that. Concentration only up to a minute. All right, so you get to transform kind of for a minute. That's nifty. So this is like a once per encounter kind of deal. With a roar, you draw on the magic of dragons to transform yourself, taking on draconic features. You gain the following benefits until the spell ends. You get a 30-foot blind sight. Within that range, you can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in darkness. Moreover, you can see an invisible creature unless the creature successfully hides from you. That's basically just what blind sight's supposed to do. But I don't know if there's like written rules anywhere about this specify that. Anyway, moving on. It gives you a breath weapon. This is the meat of the spell. Whenever you cast the spell, and as a bonus action on subsequent turns for the duration, you exhale a shimmering energy in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in the area makes a dex save, taking 6d8 force damage on a failed save or half on a success. It also gives you 60-foot fly speed with the wings. Druid Wizard Sorcerer spell. So basically, you can think of this as every single turn, you get a fireball as a bonus action. And that's
Okay.
real good.
And how long does this last?
A minute. So for one encounter, you're just like breath weapon, breath weapon, breath weapon, while also, casting fireballs and other shit because you can still use that as your first level spell slots and higher. Yeah, this is a good spell. This spell does a lot of damage. It puts you in interesting positions, and that gives you a fly speed. I'm a huge fan. What about you?
Yeah, that especially, like I said, with the bonus action and laying down fireballs and flying around, and then casting other stuff. There's a lot to love. Um, you don't actually turn into a dragon. You take on draconic features.
Yes,
You
you get
sprout wings.
incorporeal wings. They're not
Oh,
technically real wings. They're incorporeal, so you can't get like shot in the wing, but they give you the 60-foot fly speed. Um, None of your physical there's no like physical transformation, which I find is
okay.
kind
So
of
you
weird.
don't
Like you don't
you don't
grow or
grow a
anything.
you don't grow a cloaca or anything.
No,
It's probably for the best.
probably. Yeah, it's like a pseudo transformation. Like you just get new things. You just like
Yeah.
you can now breathe force, which
What is that?
sure
What is the weapon? It's you compared it to a fireball, but it's not fire, right? It's
it's
what are
force
you
damage.
breathing?
Exhale
Just
shimmering energy in a 60-foot cone, which is
okay.
about as vague as you can possibly
Yeah.
be if you're looking to get people to have a robust fantasy of fulfillment for this kind of spell, right? Like you can
It's
be like,
make your own force. It can look
yeah,
like whatever you want it to look like.
it can be fiery, it can be cold looking, but it'll always do force damage, and that's good because very few things are resistant to force damage, except that one weird gem dragon from Summon Draconic Spirit. That's the one.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's fine. We talked about it. It doesn't matter. What does matter is everything else in the spell is sweet. The blind sight's 30 foot only, which is kind of nifty. So like it doesn't auto defeat like a lot of invisible stuff. It doesn't auto defeat a lot of illusions and stuff because you have to be like within the specific distances of it. So you can do some more finicky magical nonsense with it. This also makes it a great villain tool if your players like using invisibility. You can make one of them go and do a draconic transformation and fly around lasering people, and then also finding your invisible wizard or rogue that's just murking people from the shadows. That's pretty cool. Um, I think like 99% of the time when you cast this, you're just like, yeah, I'm going to be letting loose at least 2 or 3 cones of this. And if you get 3 off, this spell easily earns the damage. Like, it makes it worth it. If you get more than 3 bonus actions off with this, oh my god, that's so much damage. You're doing 2048 damage. It's absurd.
Yeah. This is concentration, right?
Yes, that's
So
a really
yeah.
big factor
Well,
into
I
how it
mean,
plays.
if you're using this, do what you can to maintain that concentration.
I mean, a 60-foot fly speed helps with that, right? And like, I
Yeah.
think there'll be a non-zero amount of turns where you will fly 60 feet, throw out the breath weapon, and just dash back and be relatively safe from that, or dash to get into a safer position. And you just do fly by dragony stuff, right? Like a lot of the dragon fights that players have gone through in Dungeons and Dragons have been, how do we get this thing out of the air? Because if it's in the air, it's going to ruin our lives because the only person that can hit is the ranger. So then you can now be that dragon. You can now be like, yeah, the only person that can hit me is the other ranger because the dragon's got melee weapons and a breath weapon. I can just zoom around firing off my breath weapon as a little annoying gnat comparatively size-wise, but
yeah, cool. This one's kind of exciting. Yeah, I'm looking. Keep going back to the bonus action, just the freeing you up to do any number of other things, and using this is really exciting.
Can you imagine just like a single turn, you just Cone of Cold because it's only a 4th level spell slot, and then also do this and just layer them in a gigantic Cone of Death? That seems pretty sweet. One I think is really funny, Bob. Arcane Sword is a 7th level evocation that has your concentration up to a minute.
To this one again. All right, go ahead. How much damage does that do again?
It gives you a 3d10 force damage sword.
It is force damage.
Yeah, so is this. This is 6d8 force damage. And it comes with a fly speed. And it hits a 60-foot cone.
Oh,
how far we've come from Arcane Sword.
What were you thinking, Mordenkainen?
You gotta be better than that, Mordenkainen. I thought you were good at this. I thought this was your job. Like, come on. Even your hound's like middlingly useful. Fizzban knows what he's up to though. Draconic Transformation is pretty sick. It compares really well against like most of the bonus action spell stuff too. As a reusable bonus action goes, like you don't have to be in necessarily the best position to make a 60-foot cone hit things. Like, especially with the fly speed, you can be like, okay, fly up over top my fighter real quick, breath, and then scoot back. Easy peasy. You can be a long-range character and still make this happen. Now, if you are doing this, you best believe arrows are flying towards you. You best believe, like, you become the #1 target of every single ranged option on the battlefield if you're laying waste to things like this. It doesn't take much to drop your concentration on this, and if you do drop your concentration while you're flying over a ravine or some shit, well, the ground is a consequence for that. So it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, granted, all 3 of these classes have like access to Featherfall or Wild Shape, so they can like pretty easily mitigate the falling problem. But it's always a fun little thing to be like, oh, I'm not a dragon anymore, and I'm 180 feet in the air. I think it's a fun little bitty that can happen.
Yeah, anytime you got a fly speed, that's a chance you're taking. But yeah, I guess this one more so because you have made yourself, #1 target.
Yeah, very clearly that thing has to die, or this is going to go poorly for everyone around us.
All right, well, this one's pretty cool. Seemed like there was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it is. So we got a rating.
This is a 4. This is a big, powerful. Your druid busts this out and just starts killing shit. You're like, oh no, what do I do now? What also could be fun, right? Like, is this doesn't require you stay humanoid. So if you are like a moon druid and want something better to do on your turns, you Draconic Transformation yourself, then Wild Shape next turn, and then you're just like running around with 300 hit points and are flying. Like, just imagine this really thick bear flying around and breathing 68 force damage. I think that's a wonderful little scene. I love the idea of like halflings and gnomes doing this just because you have like this tiny little wrathful god melting things with a giant 60-foot force cone. That seems super fun. I think this spell is sweet. If you couldn't already tell, like, my excitement for it's palpable. I don't know if it's going to roar up the game because this has the very simple solution of hit the wizard, and that's a very easy solution for many to pull off. You really need to get like 2 rounds out of the bonus actions to justify this cast, so it's not like always amazing, but you will reliably get that, I think, at a lot of tables. If you ever get more than 2, this thing is bonkers.
Yeah, I can't see a reason not to give this a 5. That's what I'm giving it. It's awesome.
Sick.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Draconic Transformation. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.